Lagos has been labelled as one of the dirtiest cities in the world, where open gutters and piles of refuse along the streets were a common sight, posing as a grave danger to the health of Lagos residents. The negative impact this has had on sectors such as business and tourism has been massive. But the state government has been working on finding a solution to sewage and drainage management around the city to improve the environment and create a cleaner and healthier atmosphere. This year, the first Lagos State Sewage and Wastewater Summit was held in the city with the theme, Charting a New Course. Talking to Commissioner of Environment Muiz Banire, he says that the state has already begun to make major changes and has realized that a failure to respond to the need in this sector would be an all-round mistake. One of the most visible setbacks in Lagos State is its sewage and drainage systems. Now, what was the problem and what are you doing to rectify it today?
Well, on the flooding problem of the state, you know, we are a coastal state and we are susceptible quite naturally to flooding problem. Substantially, we've been able, it used to be bad, I must confess to you. A lot of road will be consumed at the slightest rainfall, not to talk of properties and at times life threatened at the same time. But in the last few years now, we've been able to recover a lot of our channels, thereby deflooding a lot of areas in the state through the constant and routine maintenance of most of these channels and the construction of new ones and the lining of particularly major systems within the state. And to a large extent today, we can say that we've been able to substantially reduce the incidence of flooding within the state. I realize that people have not actually recognized the importance so much of efficient sewage management. But in recent times, again, as a result of information dissemination and education and enlightenment of the populace, they seem to be coming on board and facing the reality of the dangers of improper management of sewage in the state. And right now, apart from private facilities now that are coming on board in terms of facilities, that is treatment facility, we have corporate bodies too coming up, and even government, by way of intervention, have just virtually recovered the existing system. And we just have a 5-year sustainable sewage management plan now towards actualizing our goal, our dream in terms of wastewater and sewage management in the state.
Recently, you had a sewage summit where you came up with a 5-year plan. Now, can you tell us a little bit more about what this consists of?
Basically, it was meant to prepare us in terms of roadmap towards the actualization of our dreams. And the management strategy that we have come up with is first and foremost to simultaneously, while doing infrastructural upgrade, drop a sewage master plan for the state so that we can know where and where to do. But right now also under the SSS, what we call SSS is Sustainable Sewage Scheme, we have already some grid system that we intend to work upon. And some of them will be concession, some will be by way of direct government intervention, while we also have some existing facilities that I earlier on alluded to that we intend to galvanize towards the efficiency now. For example, most of the existing ones were meant for sewer. In other words, they work with network. But now we are modifying and upgrading them to the extent that they are able to receive septic from the trucks, so that we don't see any incident of truck going to any lagoon or any creek or river going to dump indiscriminately their raw material or raw waste into them.
But what are you going to do about maintaining and sustaining these projects that you have put in place in the long run?
Yes, in terms of maintenance and sustenance, the strategy is actually to operate mainly the infrastructure by way of facility management. Once you have facility management managers, they will be able to ensure that there is continuous sustenance and maintenance of this infrastructure. And not only that, also, there is supposed to be a sewage management fund from which some of the fund will be pulled into towards continuous maintenance of those equipments.
In areas such as these, the drainage and sanitation projects have begun to improve health standards and living conditions of residents, also supporting the upgrading of other urban services and providing the organizational and system development to the Lagos State Waste Management Authority. These projects have put the state several steps closer to a cleaner and greener city.